everybody. According to statistics, more than 3 million Americans find themselves involved in some kind of violent physical encounter every year. In a new book out this week called How to Win a Fight, martial arts instructor Kris Wilder provides a guide to preventing and surviving an altercation. He's here now to share some really good tips for avoiding very bad situations. Kris, thanks for being here. It's nice to meet you.
Thank you for having me.
I enjoyed the book and hope I never get in that situation. But here's what I find very interesting. You've studied martial arts for 40 years. You're also a Franciscan monk.
Yes.
Any problem balancing?
No, they're really, well, one came before the other, obviously. But no, there isn't really a problem there because the book, the majority of the book is really about how to prevent, you know,
Right.
knowing what's worth fighting for, when you have to fight, and best of all, not. And so there really isn't a problem there, no.
Now, most women don't provoke physical altercations, but everybody worries about being the victim of an attack and something that's unexpected. So I really want to go through some of the rules that you've talked about and also the difference between what you call social and asocial violence.
Sure. The social asocial violence is actually a phrase coined by Sergeant Rory Miller, a former corrections officer. And it really breaks the world into two very clear places. We can go there now if you'd like.
Go ahead.
Social violence is me establishing dominance over you for the viewing of all of my tribal members. So now I'm the alpha male and I run the show. Asocial violence is, I want your wallet, give it to me, Margaret, thank you, and I'm going to kill you too. Bang. That's asocial. It doesn't have a big rhyme or reason. It's based on resource, and there just be mayhem attached to the end of it. Yeah.
And that's the thing we probably fear the most. So here are your 4 rules. The first one is don't get hit. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm in favor of that. How do I accomplish that?
Keep distance. Keep distance. You know, you can use your voice to create distance. You know, simply pointing at somebody, and I mean with the accusatory finger. Don't give them the Clinton finger. Give them the whole.
Right.
You know, and use your voice in a command and get distance, and also know what your escape routes are. I would ask anybody here in the audience, do you know how many ways there are out of this room?
Interesting thought. So let's say you're in a parking lot, somebody's approaching you who you don't know or you find threatening in some way. I want to back up, I want to use my voice to tell them to stay away from me, but keep distance from them.
Absolutely.
So they can't reach me.
And let's say that you're in that parking lot and you know you're starting to get into your car and you see them coming and you decide that that's not going to work very well. I'm actually going to walk out into the street light. If they follow you, well, now you know that you've got yourself a situation. If they decide to walk on, you wait. Okay.
Number 2, stop the attacker from continuing to hit you. Again, I'm in favor of this. How do we accomplish this?
I'm glad I'm on your good side. It's so far.
I definitely do not want to be continuously hit. So what do we do?
You can get separation, or you can get too close. These are 2 ways that you can do this. Being really close is for a more skilled opponent, or if you're going to confine space. But getting distance is the key. If somebody's hitting me, I don't want you to hit me anymore. It could be throwing my very expensive latte in your face to stop you from doing what you're doing. There are many, many ways that you can do that, but the longer you sustain damage, the worse it's going to be. Okay, so if you have your keys and you can hit somebody, you just want to get away, right? Create enough diversion that you can get away from this person. Well, that's one way of doing it, sure. And you know, the laws in Washington State and across all of America are written in terms that you must try to escape. If you don't try to escape, you're in trouble. For retaliating? Yes. Oh. Yeah, because you did not use preclusion. If you attack me and you have the intent to do so, that's fine. You have the method to do so and you have the opportunity, that's fine. But as the subject of the attack, if I do not use preclusion, if I do not try to escape, I'm now at fault, and that shows up in court. Well, that's just crazy. Who'd have the time to think about that? But that's good to know. All right, number 3, always have a plan B. Good point. How do we do that? Well, like I said, how many exits are there out of this room? And how many people have decided that if I can't go out the way I came in, how do I get out of here? That's my plan B. You know, do I cross the street here or do I go down to the other corner? Just very simple little tasks that you can apply to your everyday existence to just simply know another way out. It's a specific example of a way of thinking, though, right? That you're just being mindful of your environment? Yeah, Franciscans are mindful. That's and your 4th rule, don't go to jail. Don't go to jail. Don't go to jail. Check.
What do you mean?
Well, what we mean by that is that if you're in jail, you're now in the system. The system isn't really designed for justice. It's designed for resolution. If it was designed for justice, O.J. Simpson would be in jail for something else than what he is. It's designed for resolution. So if you're in jail, even though you may have a very meritorious argument, it isn't going to necessarily prevail. You may not have the finances to carry it out. You may not have X, Y, and Z. You may have an absolutely horrible attorney. You may have an attorney that has an agenda across the aisle from you. You don't know what it is. If you go into the system and jail is the entrance into that system, you've got yourself an entirely different set of problems and fight. Understand this. It is about resolution. It's not about justice.
All right. Now, when we talk about avoiding a fight, avoiding an altercation, avoiding somebody attacking you, especially for women, what would be your biggest suggestion?
Well, first off, women go through the world in a completely different manner than
Absolutely,
I do.
yes.
There's no question. And if you're a smaller woman, it even compounds it. You have what we would call today spidey senses that I don't possess. You see things. You have, they speak of women's intuition. Let me tell you something. If you've got women's intuition, you use it.
Okay.
If that guy's creeping you out, you get distance. Don't be courteous. Don't be nice. Don't be pleasant. Don't worry about their feelings. Get separation and get away. And if that means you go home early for the night and your night is finished, so be it. That's okay, because you're going to wake up tomorrow in your own bed and have a nice life.
Good advice. Kris, thank you so much.
Oh, thanks so much.
I appreciate it. You're going to enjoy the book. It's got things you may not want to think about, but we'll be glad you did if you ever happen to need to. Great news, everybody. You're all going home with your own copy of Kris's book. Enjoy the read. Hopefully you won't have to use any of his tips. Stay safe out there. Thank you very much.
Thanks again.
Up next, Evening Magazine reporter Michael